Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and this time I'm playing in my favourite tank. This is the Tier 7 British medium, the Comet. And I was checking my YouTube videos that I've been releasing recently and I realised I haven't done a video on the Comet in 6 months, half a year. That's far too long. Now, in the last 6 months, I've probably picked up about 15, possibly 20 ace tanker badges in the Comet. That's because, I don't know, I feel like I kind of play this tank pretty okay. But that's not why I'm choosing this replay to do a video on. It's because it showcases a specific skill or more of a mentality that you're going to have if you want to win more of your games. And that is to be constantly reassessing the situation. Are you in the right position for your tank? Is there somewhere else you could go to do better? Keep calm and carry on, even under pressure. Now this matchup is awesome for the Comet. I'm the only Tier 7 tank, and yes, I realize this is a Tier 7 artillery, but that is a self-propelled gun and not a tank. Now my team, they're still learning how to play World of Tanks, whereas the enemy team, they've got a few players that are quite a lot stronger. And so that means that we're going to have to carry really hard in this game if we want to win. And oh my word, we are taking hit after hit after hit. Ouch! I think we took 7 hits in that engagement. We were caught completely by surprise. And there's even a PZ-38NA that wants to take us out. And this is the pressure. Oh, geez. When this was happening, I was completely flustered, as we can see. And the key reason why I want to get out of here right now is not because I feel like the Comet doesn't do well at fighting all of those opponents. It's because of the artillery on the enemy team. There are 2 Tier 7 artilleries and 1 Tier 6 artillery. So if I stay here for too long, I'm going to get hit. And I'm kind of giving an indication to that Dicamax that I want to get out of there as we get hit again by the Chi-He on the way out. Oh, Mr. Chi-He. I really don't want to stay around here for too long. A43 puts another shot into us, but finally we have a ridgeline that we can duck behind, maybe to get a few shots off. One of the reasons why the Comet is so good is because of the 12 degrees of gun depression of this tank. So that means that most ridge lines, you are going to be able to poke your gun over to engage your opponents. So my tank has got fantastic DPM, but if all of my hit points get taken away from me early on in the battle, I'm not going to have them to be able to carry the game later on. We're overwhelmed on this flank, and I'm feeling like we've lost the center of the map, as we can see here. Remember, there are 3 artillery on our team, and if we allow the enemy into our base to kill all of our artillery, well, that's not very good, considering that we've got a Tier 7 and 2 Tier 6 artillery. They're very important, and use your mobility. When you're playing your medium tanks, you don't have to stay on a flank. Now, I could very easily be tunnel visioned and feel like those guys shot loads of holes in my tank. I want to take them all out. But staying on that southern flank would be the wrong move here. Coming over to the center allows us to pick up a quick kill on a Tier 6 light tank. That Type 64 is very valuable. We take out a T-34, a Tier 5 medium tank, and we start to take out the Type 34 as well. 3 quick kills. Great stuff. Rapid fire gun on the Comet, the high DPM. The only thing that's bad, I guess, is the low penetration. And the fact that you can use vertical stabilizers on this tank with its 2.3 seconds aim time means that you're not aiming for as long as you are in the Cromwell, which is very painful for me. The downside is the penetration is low. And so that means that when you're engaging these low-tier opponents like that, it's not really a negative. You don't need to fire the APCR rounds, which you have 200 millimeters, 208 millimeters of penetration on, to be able to engage. So that southern flank was a complete whitewash. All of my team died there. I'm not sure if I could have stopped them from dying. Undoubtedly, I could have put a few shots into the opponents as they took them out. But I feel like by coming across here and securing the middle of the map, at least we still have our artillery in the game. And now, as we can see, they've fallen back. And the position that I'm in completely counters that position. We take out the Panzerfahr S, and we take out the Dicamax with the second shot. 5 kills, only 1,245 damage. We are definitely securing the kills right now. So now that we've handled that location, now we prepare for enemies that might be trying to go down the west. Right now, our KV-85 and the FV-304 are trying to assault the enemy. Oh gosh, we bounce off the T-43, we put one round into him, and we secure the kill with an APCR round that time. I really needed to take him out, and I could not afford for him to shoot me anymore. Now we load our standard rounds again, and we go after the PZ-38NA. Right now I'm still worried about the enemy artillery, but luckily this hill, or ridgeline, on my side should be able to keep me safe. Put one into the tracks of the 38NA, the second one detracks him, and the third shell takes him out. So 7 kills now for 1,758 damage. But unfortunately, the KV-85 on the other flank is not doing too well anymore. He got taken out by the A-43, who was putting shots into me earlier on in the game, and has since picked up 3 kills. He fell back from that flank as well. Secure another location, which I guess when he left this flank, he thought there were huge numbers of players here, and players pushing through here. He thought, well, the only chance we're going to die or to lose this game is if they push through this flank and cap our base. So, I mean, this might entirely be a coincidence, but you maybe start to see why players that have better win ratios, and if you care about it, WN8, do so. And that's because they're constantly trying to patch up holes in their defensive formations. They use their mobility to get around and use their tanks more effectively, I guess, than people who are willing to just stay in a flank and try and engage in a frontal, constant harassment of the enemy team. Now, there are certain tanks that do really well with that. A lot of heavy tanks and tank destroyers love that frontal engagement. But there are also tanks that you really shouldn't try and do that in, i.e. relatively lightly armored medium tanks, even in a great matchup like this. And he just picked up a couple of kills there. He's on 5 kills. If he can take me down, then he's going to get himself a Top Gun and win the game. But he lost a lot of health in doing that. And so that means that really, he has pretty much no chance against me here. He falls back, surprised, and I want to get myself into cover. Got to watch out from the artillery, and that's why you see me going here. I wait here for a little while until we're no longer spotted. And now we have to deal with a 1 versus 3 situation. Although we are engaging 3 artillery, they're still higher tier. Now, if they were kind of, you know, your tier 5 artillery, some tier 6s, and not these 2 tier 7 artillery, then that means that you have to shoot them so much less. The GW Panther, we're going to have to shoot 3 times. And that gives him quite a lot of opportunity to put a big round into us. Luckily, the M44 is fairly low on health, and he hasn't spotted us. Oh, 125 roll, leaving him on 1 health. Thankfully, he whiffs his shot, but unfortunately, that meant we had to stay still and put the second one in. Some invasive maneuvers here. Hopefully, we'll stop the GW Panther and the M12 from hitting us. And I flinched, I jumped, I screamed like a little girl. If you want to see that, go and check out the highlight on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. Don't make a GIF out of it, or if you do, at least make it a funny one. But yes, I hate those kind of artillery engagements there, where you're literally a sitting duck and just praying the artillery don't take you down. So how unlucky were we there that we rolled for so low? Well, not that low when you think about it. We've got 140 average damage here and roll for 125 on him. But leaving an artillery on 1 health, that's sod's law, right? So what I want to do now is put pressure up on the enemy. I don't want to stay there and allow them to get me for free. And using bushes such as this is a good way to take advantage of the fact that you've got high view range and they don't. I reverse behind the bush, and they won't be able to see me. That bush is covering me, and I take him down for free, and I don't even get spotted. That poor M12. And so now we're in a 1v1 situation, and there are some tips that I want to give you as to how to handle this. Now, in this situation, I've got 2 options. 1, cap to win. 2nd, kill the GW Panther to win. Now, I thought the GW Panther was camping in their base because the M12 was coming out to spot me. I thought that he was coming to spot me and the GW Panther would be pre-aimed. So what you see me doing here is trying to, as carefully as possible, and I'm very worried about the artillery camping in that location right now, to find out where the GW Panther is. I want to go and peer over this ledge, extend my view range out and hopefully try and find him to be able to take him out. Because, you know, I'd like to pick up that 11th kill and also get the Pascucci's medal as well at the same time. Plus, by sitting in the cap circle, if he wants to come and get me by coming around the corner, I have to hit him 3 times, remember, to be able to take him out, which is very awkward indeed. Now, another tip, don't go into the cap circle unless you want to start capping, because that gives away your position. So if I went into the cap circle there, then the artillery would aim to be able to take me out. However, a completely different situation arises. The enemy artillery went into the cap circle, so now I immediately react by entering the cap circle myself. Now, here's something very important. You have to have at least 5 clear seconds of capping to be able to win the game. And I made it in with 10 clear seconds. And so that means that right now, if the artillery does not blind fire me, I'm going to win the game. Now, there are a couple situations that you should be aware of. Let's say, for example, you have no chance of going back and interrupting the enemy tank. You think, fine, I'll just take a draw. If you can start capping within 5 seconds of that player capping, you can draw the game. However, if the enemy starts capping, say 6 or 7 seconds before you go into the cap circle, well, you've lost. Your only chance now is that you have to get back to the base to be able to get the interrupt off. That's just the way the game mechanics work. After one team has reached 100%, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's a clean win. So that gives the enemy team, you know, a little bit of a margin to be able to finish their cap, and that's how cap draws happen. It's not just who reaches 100% first. And that can be very important when there are 3 people capping, obviously, because it's going up 3 times as quickly. And so if you've got 3 people capping, that 5 seconds can be 15 cap points. So for example, if somebody just reaches 100 and you've got 85, you can still draw the game out. Well, at least that's, in theory, how it should work. So right now you see me aiming up at the mountains, but that's just because I was live streaming and I didn't want the guy to blind fire me, because if I showed my position, he could use that to be able to win the game. And so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the game is won. So I'm just going to pause it here because I want to still be able to show you and have some analysis without crashing the game. So hopefully that cleared up any confusion that any of you might have with how the capping mechanics work in World of Tanks. And there's also one thing I'd like to highlight, that if you kill a tank, it also extends that grace period at the end of the game by an additional 5 seconds. And this isn't so common in random games, but for example, in your tank companies or your strongholds, if the enemy team are capping, like you are, and it's a cap race, and you make a kill, then that can give the enemy an additional 5 seconds that they need to reach 100% cap to be able to draw the game. So don't lose games for your team, at least in your strongholds. But if you're an exceptionally knowledgeable player, then you can use that to advantage in also your random games as well. And in theory, if you were on the losing team and you wanted to extend the duration of the game by 5 seconds, then you probably could get yourself killed to be able to give your team a chance to catch up. And if you've ever done that, please send me a replay because I want to see it happen. So hopefully this video highlighted one of the key aspects of World of Tanks. Keep calm, carry on, be constantly reassessing the situation and putting your tank in the most important position to be as effective as you can be to carry your games. Let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats. So we got 4,000 experience for our double hero pools medal for getting those 10 kills, a high caliber, an invader medal for capping, and also a steel wall medal. Wow, we took a lot of hits that game. So it was a paltry 2,273 damage to be able to get those 10 kills, but they were important kills nonetheless. And when you're in these top tier games, and especially against artillery, which don't have a lot of hit points to begin with, it is very easy to pick up kills for low amounts of damage. We only barely scraped a steel wall in this game, taking the 11 hits required and barely over the 1,000 potential damage received to be able to get the steel wall. The Comet really isn't a steel wall kind of tank unless you use the turret armor exceptionally in a lovely matchup like this. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I tried to pack it full of absolutely everything that I could so you could get the most out of it. And if you enjoyed it, please consider giving this video a like down below. And if this video has sparked your interest in my favorite tank, the Comet, the tier 7 British medium, then simply click up here and you can go through to my biggest ever game in World of Tanks. And let me know in the comments down below, what's your favorite tank in the game and why? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.